Welcome to a spooky Halloween special about Liseberg, Sweden. I'm going to show you all the scary things you can find at the park during Halloween. Prepare for horror! Liseberg is Sweden's biggest amusement park and has been running since 1923. Incidentally, that's the very same year that Howard Carter opened King Tut's tomb in the Valley of Kings. And as I'm sure you know, everyone who defiled the tomb were put under a horrible curse. What happened to the curse after that? Did it end up in Gothenburg to curse all the visitors in Liseberg every Halloween? Are we all now inflicted by an ancient Egyptian curse? Well no. Not unless having a good time is considered a curse. So let's get into what kinds of scary and horrible things you can see at the park. Let's start with Balder, a large wooden coaster. It's a pretty good coaster and much better than Twister in Gröna, Lund. Definitely not as fun as Wildfire in Kolmården though, and not very scary either. Helix is great fun and a very good coaster, and it's also a bit scarier than Balder. But the grand prize of scary roller coasters at Liseberg goes to Valkyria. At the very beginning of the ride, you pause at the top of a 50-meter drop before you're plunged downwards towards the dark underground at 100 kilometers per hour. The ride itself is good, but way too short, and it's not really scary after the initial drop. But the first drop is an awesome scare, and I do enjoy the inversions. What about some spooky merchandise? Maybe some spooky raven plushies? Well, not very scary at all. This dancing ghost is a bit more scary. Look at that freaky little thing go. Imagine it sitting on your bedside table and going off like that in the middle of the night. Spooky. Liseberg is themed really well at Halloween. I love the scarecrows and the nice installations you can see all over the place. The baskets filled with vegetables is like a make-your-own stew package, ready to be cooked up. When I was a wee kiddo, we never celebrated Halloween much. We spent the night in contemplation instead, lighting a candle on some old relatives' graves and thinking about our own mortality. I had never even seen a pumpkin except in American movies. Well, things have certainly changed. Pumpkins everywhere. You can't take a single step without tripping over a pile of pumpkins at Liseberg. Or seeing a really cool carved pumpkin. This one has a pretty decent spookiness factor actually. So what other scary things did I find at Liseberg? How about bloodthirsty, bloody zombies walking around in the middle of a crowd? These zombies looked really good, and it was really cool to see the crowd looking mostly excited, but with a slight edge of fear. Maybe everyone suddenly recalled all those zombie movies they had seen, and how easy it would be to get trapped and eaten alive by these vicious undead zombies if it had been for real. Or maybe it's just normal Swedish introverted protection of personal space. Hey, get away from me! I need 1.5 meters in all directions to feel safe. If zombies don't scare you, what about clowns? Let's take a look at the circus bazaar area. I think they really hit the jackpot with scary costumes and a circus theme. There's something truly unnerving about seeing a familiar, friendly thing like a circus, mixed with distorted and bizarre visuals like these. Not to mention how unnerved you get from seeing these actors. I've heard 2 people just last week complain about how frightened they are of clowns. I hope they will be watching this video and curl up in a fetal position crying. Oh, by the way, Hundmannen in the background here means dog man, and it's not referring to the clown in front of it. So half dog, half human, and I guess he was running around the area somewhere. Unfortunately, I never saw him. I would have liked that. I bet he's his own best friend that keeps petting himself all the time. More freakiness at the circus bazaar. It's not like jump scares, but they're evoking an unnerving kind of scariness. A quiet terror rather than plain fright. Alright, let's get out of here. That's enough of clowns. I'll show you something else scary instead. My distorted head. The Hall of Mirrors is a place for kids, but I actually like it. I always take a quick walk through here. I try to get myself to have a huge head like the leader, a Hulk villain from the comics. Didn't work all that well. Not very scary either, so let's move on. Hang Hai is a pretty good attraction. It's good fun, and there's never a line to this one. It's not very scary at all, but I always squeeze in a quick go on this one anyway. But be careful if you get car sick easily. Mechanica is another good attraction where you don't have to wait forever to get on. It twists and turns and you get a good view of the park from up there. But I do wish that there had been some more full inversions where you hang upside down. Still, I like this one. Aerospin is a weird little flyer attraction. You can pull the levers and try to rotate around your own axis, but it's really hard to do. I guess it's scary for people with vertigo mostly, but other than that, just try it out for fun. There's a lot more rides than these at the park, but since this is a Halloween themed video, I won't go into detail about everything. But let me mention the haunted houses a bit. You're not allowed to film inside, but they have several good ones, such as an overrun zombie lab, a mystical experiment gone wrong, and others like a haunted hotel, a weird attic, and a new one for 2019 called The Forest. I did try to film a bit from the zombie lab. It didn't really work out. Instead, let me show you what you can do when darkness starts settling over the park. What kind of horrible things can you see when you start walking through the garden next to the merry-go-round? After you have traversed the eerily lit statues and patted the horse, you will come upon the kiddie playhouse. Now, I'm not going to admit whether or not I climbed around the playhouse giggling with glee, but I will show you a very exciting POV video from going down the slide. Now, isn't this exciting? The view from the playhouse is actually really good, and the kids won't appreciate it as much as I do. So I just tossed out some of the little buggers and elbowed my way up here so I could show you the park from a higher location. So when it comes to scary stuff at Liseberg during Halloween, I guess we have a conclusion. The scariest thing at a park has gotta be me in the kiddie playhouse. A grown man crawling around and going down the slide is definitely the weirdest and scariest thing people saw that day. Liseberg is one of two big amusement parks in Sweden, and the second one is Gröna Lund in Stockholm. One question people often ask is, which is better, Liseberg or Gröna Lund? The thing is, that's an impossible question to answer. Not because it's hard to decide, but rather because there's a minor feud between Stockholm and Gothenburg. Look at all the pleasant Gothenburg people. They're all nice and friendly and easygoing. But if I were to say that Gröna Lund is better, they would literally travel all the way to Stockholm just so they could punch me in the face and tell me that I'm a stuck-up douche from the big city. And in reverse, if I were to say that Liseberg is better, I would be a social pariah in Stockholm. I would be thrown out of all restaurants and bars, and I would have to sit at home every Friday night forever. So, as you can see, I can definitely not tell you that Liseberg is better. All in all, Liseberg at Halloween is a great experience. You can ride most of the attractions, it's decorated really well, and they have an awesome festive Halloween feeling going on. One downside is that Sweden in October is dark and rainy, so you can end up cold and completely miserable if you're unlucky. If you can survive that though, you're in for a treat. Ride Helix and Valkyria, try out some of the other attractions as well, play arcade games, visit the haunted houses, and just walk around to get into the mood. Well, that's all for now. Have a great day. Oh, and look at this. We won 2 bloody kilos of chocolate. Just what I needed. More temptations in life.